Hi, this is Pam from Woodcamper Crafts, and today I'm going to teach you how to make this quick and easy classic Santa hat. So for this pattern, you're going to want to use a super bulky yarn. I'm using the Lions brand Wool Ease and Thick and Quick in Cranberry, and this color is called Fisherman. For the band, I'm going to be using an 8mm hook. So let's get started with the band. I'm going to start by creating just a simple slip knot here. Insert my hook, and I'm going to pull tight. And then I'm going to start by chaining 6. So there's 1, yarn over and pull through, that's 2, yarn over and pull through, that's 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have a chain 6. I'm going to be starting the second chain from my hook. So there's the first and there's the second chain. So I'm going to insert my hook, and we're going to be doing just slip stitches. So yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. And there's your first slip stitch. So insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. That's 2. Insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over and pull through all the loops. That's 3. And once again, insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over and pull through all the loops. That's 4. And here's our final one. Insert your hook, yarn over and pull through all the loops. That's 5. So we have 5 slip stitches, and at the end of every row, we are going to chain 1 and turn. So in this row, we're going to be doing 5 slip stitches, working just in that single loop, that front loop only. So if you turn your work around and we'll look at the slip stitch that we just created, you can see there is a front loop and a back loop of the stitch, the front loop and the back loop of the stitch. What happens is that back loop there, when you turn it around, becomes your front loop on the other side. So I'm just going to grab stitch markers here to show you the loop. So there's the front loop that I'm sticking that orange stitch marker under. That's the slip stitch that we just finished. And then I'm going to take this green stitch marker and put it under the back loop. So what happens is when I turn my work around, that back loop now becomes the front loop on the other side. That's the loop we're working under, just that single loop there. So if you look at it from the top, it's easy to identify, or if you get lost, you can just turn your work around again and look at the stitch from this side to identify the loops. So we're going to take those stitch markers out now that everybody knows what loop we're working under. I'm just going to stick my hook back in here. We've already done our chain 1 and turned here. So that's the loop right there that I'm working under, just that single loop. It's the loop that's kind of on top of your work, and it's the easiest one to access. So just that loop right there, and we're doing the slip stitch. So we're doing 5 slip stitches working under our front loop only. So there's 2, we're just working under that loop there. That's 3, and then just working under that loop right there. 4, and then that loop right at the end that kind of puffs out a bit is the loop we're working under. So that's 5. So we're at the end of the row. You can see the slip stitches. Once again, we chain 1 and turn. So once again, I am just working under that single loop there, doing the slip stitch. So insert your hook under the front loop only, yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. So insert your hook again under that front loop only, yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. So I'm going to let you work on the band at your own pace. So just remember, you're doing 5 slip stitches per row, working under the front loop only. So I did this band ahead of time because I wanted to measure the size, and I did 62 rows in total. I'm making this hat for my 7-year-old. I also measured it against myself, and for myself, I would add 2 more rows. So I would do 64 rows in total for an adult. If you're making it for a smaller child, you're going to want to do fewer rows, and I would suggest just measuring it around the child's head. So you can adjust this, you can make it bigger or smaller depending on who you're making it for, but I'm making it for my son, he's 7, and I'm going to do 62 rows in total. So I will meet you back here once you have finished the band, and I will show you the next step, which will be joining the band together. So I'm all done my band and I have 62 rows in total. If you lost track, you can always count your rows. It's easy to count by twos. So if you're looking at the band right here, there's 2 rows. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's just an easy way to count your rows if you've lost track. So we're going to join the band. We're going to line up our original chain with our final row. So you can see this is our final row of slip stitches, and that's our original chain. So we want to line up the 5 stitches. We've got 5 stitches in the last row, and we want to line it up with 5 chains. So I'm going to insert my hook back on here, and I'm going to go under both loops in the final row. So you're working under both loops there, and then just the single chain in the first row. Then I'm going to yarn over and we're going to join it with a slip stitch. So I'm pulling through all the loops on my hook. So there's 1 slip stitch, and I'm going to do 5 slip stitches to join. So just working under both loops of that final row, and then working under the original chain. So I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, and we're doing a slip stitch by pulling through all the loops on your hook. So sometimes you have to give it a helping hand. There we go, we have 2. So once again, insert under both loops in your final row, and then insert into your original chain, line it up, yarn over, and pull through all the loops on your hook. So that's 3. We just have 2 more. I'm going to insert my hook under both loops, and then in my original chain, yarn over, and we're doing a slip stitch. So I'm pulling it through all the loops on my hook. And here's our last one here. So once again, under both loops and in your original chain. So we're just going to pause here for a minute. We're not going to yarn over with this color. We're actually going to change colors. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my red, and I will show you how to change colors. So I have the new color here, so I'm just going to yarn over with my red, and then I'm going to pull through to complete the slip stitch. So now that we've joined our band, we're going to turn it so it is right side out. Just get that out of the way. You can see we've joined it here, and I'm going to have it so the right side is facing me. I'm just going to hold on to the shorter end of the red just to keep it in place. And then I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to chain 1. So I've just chained 1 here, and I'm ready to start my row. But before I do that, I'm going to change from my 8mm hook, and we're going to grab a 10mm hook. So I've grabbed my 10mm hook here, and we're ready to start our first row. Our first row is just a row of single crochets all the way around, but I'm going to show you where we're going to be placing those single crochets. So looking at our band, there's a row, and if you look at the row, that's the top of the row. And here's the next row, and there's the top of the row. So that big loop is the one we're going to be working in. So there is the top of a row. We're not working in there. There's the top of the next row where there's a big hole. So we're going to be working in those big holes. So we're going to be working at the top of every other row. So we're ready to get started, and you can see that's the first loop I'm working under. So I'm just doing a single crochet, so I'm going to insert my hook, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through. I have 2 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through both loops to complete my single crochet. So looking at my work here, I'm going to skip that row. I'm going in the top of the next row, insert my hook, yarn over and pull through. I have 2 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through both loops. So we're going to skip the top of that row and we're going into the top of the next one, yarn over and pull through just to complete our single crochet there. Skip that row, going into the next one. And we are going to do 4 single crochets. So in this one here, we're going to be doing 2 single crochets in the same loop. So there's 1, and we're going to be doing another one into that same loop. So that's 2. So we're going to do this pattern all the way along. We're going to do 4 single crochets. So there's 1, and then here's our next one, 2, and we're going to do 3, 4, and now we're coming up to the 5th one where we're going to do 2 single crochets in the same hole there. So we've got 1 and 2. So just keep doing this all the way along. You're doing 4 single crochets followed by 2 in the same hole. And you're going to be doing this pattern a total of 6 times. The final stitch in your row is going to be a single crochet. So once you complete the row, you will have 37 single crochets in total. So row 2 is just a row of single crochets. We're going to be doing 37 in total. So you can see there's our chain 1 from our previous row, and there's our first stitch. So we're going to be working in that first stitch there. So we're going to insert our hook, and let's find the yarn here. There we go. We are going to yarn over and pull through. So you have 2 loops on your hook, and then we're going to just yarn over and pull through all the loops to complete our single crochet. So there's our next stitch there. We're going to insert our hook, yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through both loops. So we're just going to keep going around, and just remember we are doing 37 single crochets in total, and I will meet you at the end of the row. So in the next rows 3 to 8, we're going to be doing just single crochets, but then we're going to just change the placement of our hook a little. So I'm going to just grab a stitch marker before we start, and I'm going to put it on my last stitch in the row. If you don't have a stitch marker, you can use a bobby pin or a piece of yarn works as well. So just looking at our work here, you can see if we're doing a single crochet, this is where we would normally insert our hook. But instead of inserting it there, we are going to be inserting it in our post. So you can see our post just there. And if you look at the post, you can see that it kind of forms this V pattern. So you can see that little V there. We're going to be inserting our hook right in between the V, just almost on a left angle there. So just looking up close, you can see that V right there. And we're just going to be inserting our hook in between that V, so just right here. So we're working in the post. So this stitch is referred to as the waistcoat stitch. It looks very much like knitting, so if you like the look of knitting, you will like this stitch. So there's our V again, just inserting our hook in between the V. So essentially we're just doing a single crochet. We're just changing the placement of our hook. So we are going to work in that first post there, inserting our hook in between the V, and then you can give yourself a helping hand, pushing it out the other end, yarn over and pull through. I'd have to give yourself a helping hand there. And you've got 2 loops, yarn over and pull through both loops. So we're just going to do that again. There's our V, and we're going to insert our hook. You can see I'm inserting it on an angle there to the left, yarn over and pull through. Oops, sometimes it can be hard to get through. There we go. We've got 2 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through both loops. So I'm just going to keep going all the way around. We're going to be doing this same stitch 37 in total for rows 3 to 8. So the trick to this stitch is that you need to keep your work really, really loose. So if you don't keep it loose, it's going to be really hard to insert your hook and you're not going to enjoy the stitch. If you keep it loose, it's just as easy as doing a regular single crochet. So I'm going to let you work on this on your own. You're going to be doing rows 3 to 8 on your own, doing this waistcoat stitch all the way around, 37 in each row in total. And I will meet you at the end of the row once you've finished row 8. And you can see this is what it looks like. So it looks very much like knitting. So I really like the look of this stitch. So we're just going to keep going here and I'll meet you back here for row 9. So we're starting row 9, which is our decrease row. If you lost track, you can always count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So in this decrease round, I'm going to start by doing my single crochet just in that post there. So that's my first stitch, a single crochet. And now we've got this pattern here. We're going to be doing 5 single crochets followed by a single crochet 2 together. So there's 1, 2, and we're working in that post again for the entire hat. So there's 2, and this is my third single crochet. And then we've got 4 and 5. And so for the next one, we're going to be doing a single crochet 2 together. So insert your hook into that next post, yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook. And then insert your hook into the next post, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops to complete your single crochet 2 together. So we're going to keep doing that all the way around. So once again, we're going to be doing 5 single crochets followed by a single crochet 2 together. And we're going to be doing this 5 times in total. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And our next one's going to be our single crochet 2 together. So insert your hook into the next post, yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into the next post, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So we've done that pattern now twice. We're going to do it 5 times in total. So once you've finished the sequence 5 times in total, the very last stitch in your row is going to be a single crochet working in that V. So you can keep working on this on your own, and I will meet you at the end of the row. So I'm almost done row 9. You can see I did a single crochet 2 together, and then that stitch marker is on the last stitch in my row. And as I said before, the last stitch in your row is going to just be a single crochet working in that V. So I'm doing a single crochet to complete row 9. And I'm just going to grab my stitch marker and put it back on the last stitch in row 9. So we're starting row 10. Row 10 is a row of single crochets. Because we did that decrease, we now have 32 stitches in our row. So working in that post, we are doing 32 single crochets all the way around. So you can work on this row on your own, but before you do that, I just want to get to the single crochet 2 together from the row before so I can show you the placement of the hook. So you can see that's our single crochet 2 together from the previous row, and we are just going to insert our hook right in there, And you can see there's the 2 lines. We want to go under both of those there. So we're inserting it just on that left angle there. We're going to yarn over and pull through and finish our single crochet so you can see what it looks like there. So you can just keep working on this. You are doing 32 single crochets in total working in the V, and we'll meet you at the end of the row. So I just finished row 10. Now we're working on row 11, a decrease row, and I'm going to be doing 6 single crochets working in the V, followed by a single crochet 2 together. So we're going to do this sequence 4 times in total. So that's 2, and this is going to be 3 single crochets. Sometimes it's hard to get your hook in there, and that's why it's really important to make sure you keep your yarn really loose. So that's 4, 5, and our last one here is 6. And we are going to do our decrease now. So we're going to insert our hook into that V there, yarn over and pull through so you have 2 loops on your hook, and then insert your hook into the next V, yarn over and pull through so you have 3 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops to complete the single crochet 2 together. So you can finish this row on your own. Remember, the sequence is 6 single crochets followed by a single crochet 2 together, and you're doing this 4 times in total. So we just finished row 11, which was a decrease row. You can see my last stitch in the row was a single crochet 2 together, and I've got my stitch marker to indicate that. So because we just did a decrease row, we only have 28 stitches now. So we're going to be doing single crochets, working in that V all the way along, and we're going to be doing 28 in total. So you can work on this row on your own, and I will meet you at the end of the row. So I just finished row 12. I have 28 stitches in total. I've got my stitch marker on my last stitch in the row. So we're starting row 13, a decrease row, and I'm going to be doing 5 single crochets followed by a single crochet 2 together, and we're doing this sequence 4 times. So I just finished my second single crochet and my third here, 4, and the last one here is 5. And we're going to do our single crochet 2 together now. So insert your hook into that next V, yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into the next V, yarn over and pull through. I have 3 loops on my hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops to complete the single crochet 2 together. So remember, we're doing 5 single crochets followed by a single crochet 2 together, and you're doing this 4 times, and I will meet you at the end of the row. So I just finished row 13, and I'm starting row 14. Because we did that decrease, we now have 24 stitches in the row, and I'm just going to be doing 24 single crochets all the way around. So I will let you work on this on your own, and I will meet you at the end of the row. So we just finished row 14, and we're starting row 15. We're going to be doing 4 single crochets followed by a single crochet 2 together. So that's 1, 2, 3, and our last one we're going to do 4, and now we're going to do the single crochet 2 together. So insert your hook, yarn over, you have 2 loops on your hook, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, you've got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So we're doing the sequence 4 times. That was our first time. So we're doing 4 single crochets followed by a single crochet 2 together, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. We just finished row 15 and we have 20 stitches in total now, so we're starting row 16 and I'm going to be doing a row of single crochet all the way around, and you're doing 20 in total. So I'll let you work on this on your own and I will meet you at the end of the row. We just finished row 16 and we're starting our next decrease row, row 17. So I'm going to be doing 3 single crochets followed by a single crochet 2 together. So that's 1, 2, and our last one here is 3. And we're going to be doing a single crochet 2 together now. So insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 to complete your single crochet 2 together. So you're going to be doing this sequence 4 times and I will meet you at the end of the row. So we just finished row 17, which was a decrease row, so we now have 16 stitches in total. So for the next 4 rows, I'm just doing single crochets all the way around, and you'll be doing 16 in total. So you're going to be working on rows 18 to 21 on your own. You're just doing a row of 16 single crochets working in that V all the way around, and I'll meet you back here for row 22. So we just finished row 21. We have 16 stitches in total. And now we're doing a decrease row again. So we're going to be doing 2 single crochets followed by a single crochet 2 together. So there's our first single crochet. And now we're doing our second single crochet. And now we're going to do a 2 together. So insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, and then insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. It's a little bit hard to get it through there. I've got 3 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops to complete the single crochet 2 together. So you're going to be doing this all the way around. You're doing this sequence 4 times, so it's 2 single crochets followed by a single crochet 2 together, and I'll let you work on this on your own and I will meet you at the end of the row. So we just finished row 22. We have 12 stitches in total and we're doing another decrease row. So this time we're going to be doing a single crochet and then we're going to be doing a single crochet 2 together. So insert our hook, yarn over and pull through, and then we're going to just insert our hook again into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. I've got 3 loops on my hook, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops to finish the single crochet 2 together. So you're doing the sequence 4 times all the way around, and I will meet you at the end of the row. So we just finished row 23. We have 8 stitches in total. This is our very last row, row 24, and we're just going to be doing single crochets 2 together all the way around. So you're going to be doing 4 of these in total. So I'm just inserting my hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. I have 3 loops on my hook, and yarn over and pull through all 3 loops to complete my single crochet 2 together. So that's 1. I'm going to be doing 3 more, and I will meet you at the end of the row. So I'm just lining up my last 4 stitches here, and I'm going to take my hook and just put it in the middle there underneath 2 of the stitches and pull through. So now that I have a loop here, I'm just going to cut the end of my yarn and pull it through the loop, and then pull tight to fasten off the toque. So I've fastened off my toque, and now I'm just going to take my needle here and pull the yarn to the inside of the toque so that I can weave in all of my ends when I'm all done. So I've pulled it through, and that's what the top of the toque looks like when you're all done. So I already have my pom-pom all ready to go. If you don't know how to make a pom-pom, you can watch my how to make the perfect pom-pom video. So you can see there's the top of my toque, and I normally will pull the 2 ends on either side of that kind of hole in the middle. So I've pulled my yarn through there, and then you can see that hole in the top of the toque, and I'll just go on the other side of that, because you don't want your pom-pom too wobbly. So you need to kind of space out the strings there. So I'm going to pull it through. So now I'm going to just reach in, and I'm going to pull the 2 strings nice and tight. And then I'm going to turn the hat inside out here so that I can knot them. So this is just going to take a minute here. Need to find my ends, and then I'm just going to knot them a few times and then pull it nice and tight so that that pom-pom doesn't come loose. So there we go, we've knotted the ends. I'm going to turn it back around, and we're almost all done. The last step is just going to be to weave in the ends. So our very last step is weaving in the ends. I've turned the hat inside out, and I've got one of my ends ready to go. So I just need to use a needle, and I just weave it under a few stitches in one direction. So you just need to put it under, 4 or 5 stitches, and then pull the needle through. And I do like a zigzag pattern. So I'm going to flip it around here, and I'm going to do the exact same thing, but going back in the other direction. So I'm going to put my needle under 4 or 5 stitches here. So you're kind of creating like a zigzag pattern. And then I'm just going to pull my needle through. So I'll let you work on the other ends on your own. We are all done. We are finished our classic Santa hat. So if you like this video, please show me some love by hitting that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this one, please subscribe to my channel.